English story. Story 1. Fair is soft and smooth. Story 2. The photographic elephants. Marina was extremely afraid of the dark. When the lights went out, everything and every shadow appeared to her as the most terrible of monsters. Her parents explained to her every day and with great patience that these things were not monsters. Marna understood her parents, but she could not stop feeling an awful fear whenever it was dark. One day, her aunt Valerie came to visit. Valerie was an incredible woman. She was famous for her courage and for having gone on many journeys of adventure, some of which had been made into books and movies. Marina wanted to conquer her fear of the dark, so she asked her aunt how she became so brave and whether she had never been frightened. A great many times, Marina answered her aunt. I remember when I was small and I was terribly afraid of the dark. I couldn't stay in the dark for even a moment. Marina became very excited. How was it possible that someone so courageous could have been afraid of the dark? I'll tell you a secret, Marina. I was some blind children who taught me how to be brave. They can't see. So if they had never discovered the secret of how not to be afraid of the dark, they would have been forever frightened. It's true, said Marina, intrigued. Can you tell me that secret? Of course, the secret is to change your eyes. Since the blind children can't see, their hands are their eyes. All you have to do to conquer your fear is what they do. Shut eyes of your face and open the eyes of your hands. Let's make a deal. Tonight, when you go to bed and put out the light, if anything makes you afraid, close your eyes. Carefully get out of bed and try to see what it is that's making you scared. But do it using your hands as eyes. And tomorrow, tell me how you're getting on with the fear. Marina accepted, but she was rather worried. She knew she would need to be brave to close her eyes, go and touch whatever it was that was frightening her. But she was willing to try because she was already too old for this. When her parents took her to bed, she herself put out the lights. After a little, she felt afraid of one of the shadows and closed the eyes of her face and opened the eyes of her hands. And summoning up all her courage, she went over to touch that mysterious shadow. The next morning, Marina came running into the kitchen, a big smile on her face and a song on her lips. The monster is so soft and smooth. she cried. It's my teddy bear. Story 2. The Photographic Elephant. There was once an elephant who wanted to be a photographer. How his friends would laugh when they heard him talk about it. How silly, said some. There aren't any cameras for elephants. What a waste of time, others would say. There's nothing to photograph here anyway. But the elephant kept following his dream, and piece by piece, he managed to cobble together some old bits of junk and some spare parts, and ended up with a camera of sorts. With this camera, the elephant had to design practically everything himself. From a button he pressed with the end of his trunk, to a lens made to fit an elephant's eye, to a load of wrought iron used to make a frame so the elephant could attach the camera to his head. When it was all finished, he could finally get to taking his first photos. However, the elephant camera was so enormous and strange looking that it seemed like some huge ridiculous mask. So many people laughed as he went by that the elephant began to think of abandoning his dream. Even worse, it was beginning to look like those who had said here was nothing to photograph there had been right. But things work out differently. The sight of the elephant walking about with camera on his head was so funny that no one could help but laugh when they saw him. And using a great deal of good humor, the elephant managed to take some really amusing, incredible pictures of all animals. In his photos, they always looked joyful. Even the moody rhino. So the elephant managed to become the official savannah photographer, and animals would come from every direction to have some nice photos taken for their passport to the zoo.